Hawks are 2-7. And the Hawks are 4-5 and still in the running for a playoff spot if they win this game. Conventional wisdom has the Onate Centennial game kind of deciding a playoff spot tonight. If Onate were to pull the upset, they have a shot at getting in, and the Centennial with a victory certainly would get in as one of the lower seeds, or the higher seeds, I guess I should say, in terms of down in that 10, 11, 12 area. So there is stuff on the line here. Onate 2-7, coming off a tough loss to the Bulldogs, 55-0. Centennial was off last week. 2 weeks ago, they took on the Bulldogs and lost 42-13. Hawks are 4-5. The Knights are 2-7. As we get ready for this game tonight, conventional wisdom has both teams going with backup quarterbacks. I haven't checked up on the availability of those that might play tonight, but Aaron Sanchez, the quarterback for the Knights all year, came out of the game in the first quarter last week against the Bulldogs and didn't return. Looks like they will have a backup quarterback running the ship there. Jaden Diaz took over eventually for the Knights. The Hawks lost 2 quarterbacks against the Bulldogs 2 weeks ago. Their starter went down, Lance Frost. Their backup quarterback, Noah Bartlett, went down. So there's a really high probability they're going to go with their third-string quarterback, Aiden Trujillo. We'll see if all that checks out when the game gets going as they get ready to present the colors here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. We're about 2.5 minutes away from the opening kickoff. This is LCPS TV. We were trying to attempt a simulcast with our radio broadcast tonight, but due to technical difficulties, we haven't been able to pull off the radio broadcast. But we will send this game out over the internet via this stream on LCPS TV. We pause here at the stadium for the anthem. So both teams have hit the gridiron, and we're close to getting this game underway. The Knights are in the black uniforms, white helmets, and the Hawks are on the eastern sideline, the visiting side of Aggie Memorial Stadium. All white, red numerals, and red helmets for the Hawks. Hawks 4-5. The Knights are 2-7. They both are coming off games against the Bulldogs. Las Cruces beat Centennial 42-13, and they beat Onate 55-0 last weekend. And the Hawks have had a week off, so got to figure that's worked out to the Centennial Hawks' benefit. Full moon hanging over Aggie Memorial Stadium. Good student turnout. Bands are here. And they'll fire up the lights at Aggie Memorial again tomorrow for the Bulldogs and the Trojans. Las Cruces 8-1, and Mayfield's 2-7. Onate beat Mayfield earlier this year, 28-21. The Hawks also beat the Trojans this year, and both teams lost to the Bulldogs. So that's the way the inner city matchups have gone this year. It'll be the Hawks kicking to the Knights. The Knights will be defending the southern end zone and traveling to the northern end zone, which is the Jumbotron side of the stadium here. So that'll be at the back of the Centennial Hawks here. Hernandez has it teed up for the Centennial Hawks. Joseph Hernandez, a 5'10", 145-pound sophomore. Doubles as a defensive back for the Hawks. He has his hand in the air and awaiting the official's whistle, who's standing back at the 3-yard line. Monroe Young is a feature returner for the Onate Knights. They'll try to kick it away from him. And they kick it up and deep, and it hits at the 1-yard line and goes into the end zone. So it'll be the 20-yard line, the starting spot for the Knights. Jaden Diaz, we expect to open up at quarterback for the injured Aaron Sanchez. Sanchez was having some success this year, but got injured on a punt last week and didn't return. So tough break for him, as he was having a good year at quarterback, and we'll see how the Knights operate. Monroe Young, give him the ball on a sweep to the right side. Gets up to the 25-yard line. So a gain of 5 on the first carry of the game. Figure you'll see a lot of Monroe Young tonight. He's got multiple college football offers: Air Force, New Mexico, UTEP, Eastern New Mexico, among others. No huddle for the Knights, 2nd and 5 out at their own 25-yard line. Quarterback keeper pulled down up at the 27-yard line. Blowers made the stop. Valise on the carry. So it's 3rd and 3 out at the 27. To the air, pressure coming from the backside, and a sack. Rigtrup got in there for the Hawks, among others. That's a loss of 10, and it brings up 4th down and 13. So a 3 and out for the Knights, and they'll be punting it away. Sanchez doubled as their punter, so last week they had to go to their backup punter, and he did a pretty good job, although he did have one blocked. He's kind of a rugby-style kicker, and there you see it. Drives the Hawks back to the 43. It's muffed and picked up by Onate. No, it'll make it out of bounds. The Knights never did secure it, so that should be Centennial football, I would think. Aaron Ocampo protesting, saying we never controlled it. But they're giving it to Onate. So Aaron Ocampo disagrees. But they're going to say that that ball was controlled and then fumbled, and the Knights come up with it down at the Centennial 40-yard line. Rule is you got to have control of it. And now they're talking about it. The officials are having a huddle about it, and we'll see if the call stands. They'll bring it back to where it was touched, which is the Centennial 43-yard line. So a fumble and a turnover on the punt. Valise, hands off. Trying the left side up to the 40-yard line, gain of 3. That's Cameron Salas on the carry, 2nd down and 7. Three wide receivers wide to the left for the Knights, 1 to the right on 2nd and 7 at the Hawk 40-yard line. Play action, pass floated out left side and too tall for Diaz, it's incomplete. Third down, 7 to go. Ball at the Hawk 40-yard line, 9:37 to play in the opening quarter. Play action, pass tipped and intercepted. The Hawks have it back at their own 29-yard line. Garcia Washburn with the INT. Tip drill. So the Hawk defense put in a bad spot. Gets the takeaway. And now they'll get their offense on the field for the first time at their own 30-yard line. 9:30 to play in the first quarter. Aiden Trujillo opens at quarterback for the Centennial Hawks. Did a good job coming in late in the game last week as a third teamer. Hands off, Leone straight ahead, pounds it across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Gain of 7. 2nd and 3 out at the Hawk 36-yard line. Hawks in a 2-by-1 set to the wide side of the field to the right. A direct snap to Leone. Coming right, gets to the second level, into the secondary, all the way out near midfield. Gain of 14 on a direct snap to Leone. So the Hawks moving the chains out near midfield now on the big Aggie logo out at midfield. It's a warm, comfortable night. A light jacket might be in order a little later, but you don't even really need one. They have the air conditioning on up in the press box. Going up top, Trujillo zips it off, and the pass caught. Nice job hauling it in by Rodriguez. Slung down immediately at the Onate 44-yard line, gain of about 6. Diaz, the defensive back over on that side, made sure it didn't go for any more. Second and 4 for the Hawks at the Onate 44-yard line. 2 tight end set. And it's Leone straight ahead. And he has a first down at the 36-yard line. That's a gain of 8. 3 carries, 29 yards for Josiah Leone. And the Hawks started this drive back at their own 30 after the interception, and now they've moved it to the Onate 36. Onate's given up 56 points a game in their last 3 ball games. Their defense has been on the field a lot, taking on high-powered teams, lost Cruces and Hobbs in 2 of those 3 games. Monroe Young at safety comes out of the game with an equipment problem, and they hold up the game so that they can get a replacement in for him. So Young's not out on the field. 1st and 10 for the Hawks at the 36-yard line. Sweep to Gomez going left. Gets to the edge and gets taken down at the 23. Gain of 13.
Gain of 13 on the play. Another Hawk first down.
This will be the 6th play of the drive for the Hawks, who have it at the Onate 23-yard line. Nearly 5 minutes gone in the ball game. 0-0 the score. Two receivers to the short side of the field, and another direct snap to Leon. This time he veers off to the left, and the Knights defend it better this time, and it only works for one. That's the best they've defensed a Leon run so far in his 4 attempts. 7 yards, 14 yards, 8 yards, and now 1 yard on his 4th carry. And it's 2nd and 9 at the Onate 22-yard line, so the Knight defense with a victory on that play. Two receivers to the right for the Hawks, 2 tight ends. Good snap to Trujillo. Hands off to Leon. And another good job by the Knight defense to stack him up at the 19 after a gain of 3. Centennial faced with 3rd down for the first time. 3rd and about 6 at the 19. They need the 13 for a first down. As we've hit the halfway point of the first quarter, 0-0 the score. Fake handoff. Trujillo will keep. Trujillo hit at the 15, still battling. And he'll work his way all the way down to the 10-yard line. Gain of 9 and a first down.
Trujillo on the quarterback keeper. Gain of 9 on the play.
Well, even though he's the 3rd teamer, you can tell he's taken some snaps at quarterback. Coach Ocampo's had a couple of weeks to get him ready with the bye week, but even when he came in late in the game against Las Cruces, you could tell he knew the play action. Knew where the handoffs were to go, inside or outside handoffs. So he's taken some snaps at sub-varsity, that's for certain. Now getting to play under the bright lights on 1st and goal at the 10. Trujillo hands off. Leon just muscling the pile all the way down to the 5. Got about half of what they needed.
Leon on the keeper. Gain of 4 on the play.
2nd and goal at the 5 with 4:55 to play in the opening quarter. This is an all-student production other than me. The Las Cruces Public School TV students putting on this telecast. 2nd and goal, the ball at the Onate 5-yard line. They adjust, snap it directly to Leon. Trujillo with a block out on the edge, springs him for a TD. So a 5-yard TD run for Leon. He had 43 yards on 7 carries on the drive, and the Hawks shake off the muff punt, get the turnover, and then drive 70 yards for the first TD of the ball game. So 9 plays, 70 yards. Score comes with 4:25 to play in the opening quarter. Hernandez on to try to tack on the PAT, and it's good. One thing to note here at Aggie Memorial Stadium is the goalposts are a little narrower. They do not put in the high school goalposts when they play here. So Mayfield and Cruces and Centennial and Onate have to adjust this weekend to college goalposts and college hash marks. Though I do think they employ the high school hash marks. I've noted down on the field that you can see a little mark every 5 yards outside of the hash marks that would note the width of a high school football stadium. So I think they're going with the high school hash marks tonight, but the college goalposts. I remember doing the Las Cruces Mayfield State Championship game back in 13, and Mayfield missed a point after touchdown in that game. And We had a sideline reporter down on the field during that broadcast, and he said that it was really close, and had the game been at the Field of Dreams, that extra point probably would have been good. But it sailed just wide here, and Las Cruces ended up winning that game by a point. So that can matter, though Hernandez drilled the PAT on their first opportunity here this evening. 7-0 Hawks, 4:25 to play in the opening quarter, and Hernandez to boot it away for the second time. Knights would love it to end up in the arms of Monroe Young. He's in the middle of that pack of three back there, and that's Young trying to make the grab, but it sails into the end zone for a touchback. He's a very good weapon. I would expect the Knights to try to get him the ball as often as possible tonight. I was talking to one of his coaches from last year, and they hand-timed him at 4.4, which is NFL-type speed. And that's why he has 8 college offers right now. So keep an eye on number 24 out there in this set. He's wide to the left. Hand off inside, some running room for Salas. He bobbles it, it comes free. It's free at the 33. The Hawks say they have it. Still waiting for them to unpile them. Well, the Hawks are selling it. Rigtrup comes out of there with the football, so Salas with a big run of 13. But the Hawks come out of there with the football. So a turnover on the second. Well, this is the third possession. And they've had 2 turnovers, an interception, and now a fumble. So Centennial takes over at the Onate 32-yard line. 7-0 Hawks, 4:07 to play in the opening quarter. 2 tight ends, a flanker each side. Aiden Trujillo, the sophomore at quarterback, trying to take advantage of another Onate turnover. Trujillo wants to throw, man's wide open, caught, touchdown. Making the grab for the Centennial Hawks is Vasquez. 5'8", 143-pound junior. He was wide open, and Trujillo hit him for the TD. So after the Onate fumble, the Hawks come back and hit him deep. And it's 13-0 Centennial, 4:01 to play in the opening quarter. And the point after touchdown makes it 14-0 Centennial with 4:01 to play in the opening quarter. So they scored 24 seconds after they had their first TD after a 70-yard march. Well, if you're just checking in on the game, the Knights got it first. A touchback set them up at the 20. 3 and out, they punted. Centennial muffed it. The Knights took over at the Centennial 40 but threw an interception, and the Hawks took over at their own 30. 9 plays and 70 yards later, it was 7-0 Centennial with 4:25 to play in the opening quarter. Knights came out, got a 13-yard gain, but the running back fumbled it at the end of the play. And the Hawks took over at the Knight 32-yard line. On the very next play, the Hawks go deep, hit Vasquez on a 32-yard TD pass. And just like that, it's 14-0 Centennial, who came into the game 4-5, looking to go 500 and punch their ticket to the playoffs. Here's Monroe Young. This should be fun. See if he can get going. He's to the 20, gets tripped up. Good job by the Hawks at the 25 to the 26-yard line. If he gets going, you can forget about it. When the Knights took on Gadsden, The game ended on a 99-yard kick return by Monroe Young. Put them up 50 and ended the game on the mercy rule. But the Hawks did a good job not letting him get going there and trip him up out at the 26, and we'll see if Onate can get something going here, get in a rhythm. Valise hands off to Solis. Solis picks up a yard. So Justin Valise, a quarterback, 6'1", 255, a senior. He's been a lineman all year. But with Sanchez going down, Scott Valise, the head coach, tabs Brandon to be the QB1. 2nd and 9 as they look to get the offense going here at their own 27-yard line. Perfect snap, setting up a screen to Young, and it's there. There he goes across the 45 out to the 49-yard line. 22 yards to Monroe Young on the tunnel screen. Well blocked. And so the Knights have a first down up at their own 49-yard line. Hand off to Solis, bounces it right. Can he get the corner turn? Centennial pursuit pretty good out there. No gain. 2nd and 10 for the Knights at their own 49-yard line. 2:34 to play in the first quarter. It's 14-0 Centennial in the white uniforms with the lead. Hawks are in the I formation out of the shotgun. And it's another handoff to Solis. Squirts through a little hole on the left side, works his way into Centennial territory. Second time they've been in Hawk territory tonight. Gain of 3 brings up 3rd and 6. Got a whistle from the Onate sideline, and the Knights are going to take a timeout. 1:45 to play in the opening quarter at Centennial 14 and Onate nothing. .145 to play in the opening quarter. It's 14-0. Centennial leads Onate. The Knights face with 3rd down. Valise has time, dumps it off over the middle on a middle screen. Ball came out again. The Hawks saying it's theirs. And it is. 3rd turnover for the Knights. So 3 turnovers for the Knights. An interception and 2 fumbles. Last time after the turnover, the Hawks went deep. First and 10 for Centennial at the Hawk 44-yard line. And a direct snap to Gomez, but a penalty flag flies, and they call a legal procedure against the Hawks, and that'll move them back 5. That's the first penalty of the game. So it's 1st and 15 for Centennial back at their own 39-yard line. First and 15. Gomez going left to the 45 and on the sideline up to the 48, and a marker flies in late. Wait till they sort that out, but my guess would be in the area of a hold. Marker's down at the 47. Holding against the Hawks. It's coming back, or at least part ways back. Now mark it off from where the flag is, so it's a gain of 8. And then a 10-yard penalty. It's only really a loss of 2 net on the play, but Centennial's new line of scrimmage is their own 37-yard line. So 1st and 17 for the Hawks from their own 37-yard line. Centennial up 2 TDs. Swing it out to Gomez, right flat. Good defense by the Knights. Drop him at the 37. No gain. Second and 16 for Centennial at the Hawk 38-yard line. 2 tight ends, flanker each side. Counter play. Gomez going left. His speed gets him to the outside. Good job of tracking him down out there and keeping him from really getting going. Onate numbers are hard to see, but I think that was Tappan Gray, sophomore linebacker for Onate. Brings him down at the 46. Brings up 3rd and 8. And the quarter has expired. It's the Hawks 14, the Knights nothing on LCPS TV.
The Onate Black and White Football Booster Club would like to thank Buffalo Wild Wings for sponsoring our post-game meal tonight. Thank you for your continued support and generosity. The Centennial High School Football Booster Club would like to thank the varsity parents for providing tonight's post-game meal from Rudy's.
This will be the first play of the second quarter, and Trujillo's going up top, one-on-one coverage. It's caught at the 25-20 and spun down at around the 15 is Rodriguez. Darren Rodriguez, the sophomore. 23 yards on the play. So Trujillo showing a hot hand through the air, and it's 1st and 10 for the Hawks at the Onate 15-yard line. That's Gomez. He's got the edge. Touchdown. 20-0 Hawks. Sweep to the wide side. Gomez gives Centennial a 20-0 lead early second quarter. And Hernandez is good again. So 3 turnovers for the Knights, 3 touchdowns for the Hawks. 21-zip Centennial early second quarter on LCPS TV. That'll bound into the end zone for a touchback, and so the Knights will start off at their own 20-yard line. 11:22 to play in the first half. Onate playing without its starting quarterback. And the turnover bug is hit, an interception and 2 fumbles for the Knights. So the Knights come to the line of scrimmage on 1st and 10 at their own 20. And Valise looks right, now heaves it left, going downfield, jump ball, and the pass incomplete down at the 48-yard line. Trying to get it to Monroe Young. And Hernandez up to the task of defending him. Fired up that Hawk sideline that Hernandez covered Young so well, and it's 2nd down and 10. It was an underthrown ball. Kind of a jump ball, and Hernandez bats it away. (21-zip) Centennial, 2nd and 10 for the Knights at their own 20-yard line. Little scissors play in the backfield coming right. Collision at the 24, bouncing off the collision, carrying out to the 30-yard line. Nice run, 1st down. Cameron Salas on the carry, running determined, picks up about 11. And the new line of scrimmage, the Onate 31 as they move the chains with 11:03 to play in the half. It's 21-zip Centennial. It's a warm night for November. Remember a year ago when Cruces and Mayfield played here on a Friday night, that big hailstorm hit? Postponed the game. Well, they canceled it, then postponed it till the next day eventually at the Field of Dreams, and it was a nice Saturday afternoon. But couldn't ask for better weather tonight. It's actually kind of warm. Gain of a yard. 2nd down and 9. I see folks out in the stands in shirt sleeves. Valise rolls left. Now he'll tuck it and run. No gain. So 3rd and 9 for the Knights at their own 32-yard line. 3 receivers to the right on 3rd and 9. Pretty good protection for Valise. He'll go ahead and tuck it and run. He's got a first down as he's knocked down from behind up at the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 13. Valise has been a lineman all year. Sanchez went down. Knights played Melinda and Diaz at quarterback some last week. But during the week, Scott Valise got Justin Valise into the quarterback spot, and he just rambled for 13 and a first down. Here's a handoff. That looks like Monroe Young to me. I'll have to double check it through the binoculars, but it's a gain of 4 or 5. Yeah, that was Monroe. Usually they line him up as a flanker, split end, usually on the single side. But give him the ball here, and he picks up 5. That's his second carry for 10 yards. Second and 5 at the 50-yard line. 21-zip Centennial. Knights have the ball with 9 minutes and counting to play in the second quarter. Young in the backfield. Valise fakes a handoff to him. Will keep. Blowers bangs him down after a yard gain. Justin Valise, 6'1", 255, so he's quite a load to bring down. But Blowers accomplishes the task and brings up 3rd down and 4 for the Knights at the Centennial 49-yard line. Here's Monroe Young going left, and they've got him bottled up before he can get going again. No gain. It was Blowers again on the stop. And it brings up 4th down, and the Knights already down 21-0, so you figure they'll go for it here as we tick towards the 8-minute mark to play in the second quarter. Well, they're going to take a timeout and talk about it. 21-0 Hawks, 4th and 4 coming when we resume action.
Mountain View Hospital is the official healthcare partner for the Las Cruces Public Schools. Mountain View is involved with the school district supporting education and athletics. They are also the provider of the assistant athletic trainers to the high school. Thank you, Mountain View, for all you do to support our students.
Knights to go for it on 4th and 4, down 21-0. Swing a pass out to Monroe Young. Spins away from one tackler, but wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Blowers again brings down Monroe Young. And the Knights turn it over on downs. So the Hawks on a short field have it at their own 49-yard line. Trujillo for the Hawks is 4 for 4 for 62 yards in his starting role tonight. His first starting role at the varsity level. Looks pretty good. Low snap. He handles it, gives it to Gomez. Blocker in front, and they've got running room out to the right. Run out of bounds at the Onate 32-yard line. That's a gain of 17. 5 carries, 48 yards, and a TD for Gomez tonight. Little counter action. Gomez to the 28-yard line, gain of 4.
Gain of 4 on the play. Exit 2nd and 6 for the Hawks.
7:16 and counting to play in the second quarter. Hawks bring in a slew of wide receivers here. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Rodriguez, the wide receiver to the right side. Low snap, Trujillo handles it, drops to pass, sidesteps a rusher, zips it over the middle, complete, first down. At the 18-yard line, making the grab, Ruben Kinderman, a 5'9", 145-pound senior. And Trujillo's 5 for 5. That was good for 10. 72 yards and a TD for Aiden Trujillo in his first start for the varsity. I think he's quarterbacked some at the lower levels. You can tell he knows what he's doing in terms of the offense. 1st and 10 at the 18. Coming left, big hole to the 15. And that's to the 10, down to the 9-yard line, Gomez. It's a gain of 9.
Gain of 9 on the play. He's on 2nd and 1 for the Hawks.
Second and 1 at the 9. 3 receivers to the right side. Trujillo and Gomez in the backfield. Good snap to Trujillo. He'll give it to Gomez, and Gomez has a first down as he's brought down at the 6-yard line. Monroe Young, the safety, in on the stop. Gain of 3 for Gomez. 8 yards a carry for Gomez. 5 minutes and 35 seconds to play in the half. 21-0 Centennial. Three turnovers for the Knights tonight, and that helped jumpstart the Centennial ball club. Starting a sophomore quarterback, their 3rd teamer, and he's looking good. He's a starting varsity player. He's been a wide receiver all year, and he's made some great catches. Hand off to Gomez to the 2. Monroe Young on the stop again.
Brings up 2nd and goal for the Hawks.
So it's 2nd and goal at the 2, and the umpire blows his whistle and points to one of the Knights at linebacker, who I think might have a scratch on his arm and might be bleeding a little bit. So they send him out of the game for safety reasons, and it's 2nd and goal for the Hawks at the 2-yard line. Trujillo fakes the handoff and keeps, and he's in. Touchdown. 3rd TD rushing for the Hawks in the ball game. They spread it around. Trujillo with his first, and Gomez and Leon have made their way into the end zone on the ground, and then through the air, Trujillo hit Vasquez on a 32-yard TD pass. So this is a 2-yard TD run for Trujillo, makes it 27-0. The Hawks lead it. Good job by the holder Trujillo to get it down on the tee. The snap was a little high. And Hernandez stays perfect. 28-0 Hawks, 4:33 to play until halftime on LCPS TV.
Please report to the south end zone. Again, the City of the Cross 12-man golf sponsors. Please report to the south end zone. Thank you.
hemmed him in along the sideline. Nice job of catching it. Brings it up to the 30 to the 32-yard line. If that would have gone off his hands and out of bounds, that would have been disaster for the Knights. And they're going to get it at the 32. Of course, he might have been able to gamble and just let it sell out of bounds, and then they could have got it up at the 35 if it goes out of bounds. So the Knights will start at their own 32. 4:27 to play in the half. Justin Valise got the start at quarterback. Three for 6 for 24 yards and an INT. 28 zip Hawks, 4:27 to play in the half. Monroe Young comes into the backfield in motion, fake a handoff to him, give to Solis. Solis with a big hole, runs over the umpire who got in his way. Hopefully he's okay. Across the 45 out to the 48-yard line. Nice counter action. They got him flowing with Monroe Young and came back the other way, giving it to Solis, and it's a gain of 16. So Solis gashes them for 16 and moves them near midfield with 4:19 to play in the second quarter. Here comes Salas again, gaping hole, bounces it right. He's got the 30, makes a guy miss, collision at the 24 and taken out of bounds there, and then he gets up, slapping himself in the helmet. But there's a marker down way back at the 44-yard line. Holding against the Knights, it's coming back. Boy, there was a gaping hole there, but a flag about 8 yards downfield. That's the first penalty against the Knights that's been accepted. This moves Onate back to its own 46-yard line where it's 1st and 12, so a net loss of 2. So 1st and 12. Going up top, head and shoulder fake, wrapped up, breaks away. That's 255 pounds scrambling. And he crosses midfield and gets it back into Hawk territory at the 49. That's good for 5. Trying to go deep, but the protection wasn't quite there, and so he scrambled and got what he could. And it's 2nd and 7 at the Hawk 49-yard line. Hawk show blitz. Come back with that counter play that worked so good earlier, and Solis bowling balls his way down to the 46-yard line, gain of 3. Third and 4 at the Centennial 46 with 2:48 to play until halftime. Solis again. Rigtrip ends the run play, shy of a first down at the 44. That worked for 2, and it brings up 4th down for the Knights at the Centennial 44-yard line with 2:24 to play in the half. The Hawks up 28-0 here late second quarter. Knights want to go for it, but they have to shuffle out alignment and send in another lineman, and it's the center. That makes you a little nervous when you're a shotgun team, maybe. Centennial will take a timeout. 4th and about 2.5, 3 yards to go for the Onate Knights. It's just shy of the 44. They need the 42 for a first down. 1:56 to play in the half. The Knights came in 2 and 7. The Hawks came in 4 and 5.
Don't forget to buy your 50-50 ticket. The winners will be announced at the beginning of
Both teams with backup quarterbacks. Aiden Trujillo's looked good for Centennial. He's 5 for 5 for 72 yards and a TD. The TD, a 32-yard touchdown to Vasquez. On the ground, 2 carries and 11 yards and a TD for Trujillo, and he's run the offense efficiently. Leon has 7 carries for 43 yards and a TD. Gomez, 9 carries for 68 yards and a TD for the Hawks. For the Knights, Cameron Solis leads them, 11 carries for 65 yards this evening. Empty backfield on 4th and 2 for the Knights at the Centennial 44. They need the 42 for a first down. Here comes Monroe Young. They give it to him, then give it to Diaz on a reverse. That'll work for the first down. 35, markers fly. There's markers all over the place. Both of them are down at around the 36, 37-yard line. Well, the design of the play was good. Give it to Young, then give it to Diaz going the other way, but a holding call is going to bring most of it back. The line of scrimmage was the 44, and the markers are down at the 36, 8 yards upfield. So they're going to lose a couple yards net on this play. And instead of 4th and 2, now it's 4th and 4. Three penalties for 30 yards against the Knights. After the penalty stepped off, the Knights will go ahead and punt. 1:44 and counting to play in the half. 28-0. Centennial with the lead. Gomez, the safety for the Hawks. They get pressure and he gets it away somehow. I have no idea how he got that kick away. So good job by the punter. It's down back at the 23. I'd share his name, but he's not on the Onate roster they provided. 47. There's a 44 and a 48. So somebody changed numbers and they didn't get it into the information that they provided up here. And so I apologize for not knowing the young man's name, but he did a good job getting that punt away in the face of Centennial pressure. The ball is back at the Hawk 23-yard line. 1:25 to play in the second quarter. Aiden Trujillo, a perfect 5 for 5 on the night for 72 yards and a TD. Gets a chance to work some 2-minute here. And he'll throw on first down. Plenty of time. He could run, he will run. And he'll get out of bounds and stop the clock with a first down with 1:15 to play in the half. Well, they're going to mark him out a little shy of the first down stick. So he stepped out at the 32, so he only got 9. Second down and a yard to go with 1:15 to play in the half. Scoreboard says the Hawks have 2 timeouts remaining. Hawks are going to the side of the stadium with the scoreboard here at Aggie Memorial. And the Jumbotrons in operation tonight. They're seeing what you're seeing at home, or wherever you're at on your computer or your iPad. He coughed it up. Knights trying to get the takeaway, and they do. So the Knights come out of there with the football. That's the first turnover by the Centennial Hawks. And the Knights still have a timeout remaining and 1:04 in which to try to do something with it. The line of scrimmage is the Centennial 25-yard line. No wind to speak of tonight. First and 10 at the Hawk 25-yard line. Valise, the quarterback, has Solis and Gutierrez in the backfield with him. Twins to the right, Rico and Valise. Monroe Young wide to the left, and a handoff to Cameron Solis, and he's wrapped up after a yard gain to the 24-yard line.
Cameron Solis on the carry.
Second down and 9.
He's up 2nd and 9 for the Knights.
45 seconds and counting to play until halftime. 28-0 Centennial. Rico and Valise wide to the right. Justin Valise rolling right. And he's running out of time, just heaves it away at the last second to try to avoid a sack. And it's incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9 at the Centennial 24-yard line. Monroe Young wide to the left. 4 receivers are wide to the right. Here comes Young into the backfield in motion. Hand him the ball. He bubbles back. It's going to be Monroe Young against the team. And he's dropped at the 29 for a loss of 5. Down to 22 seconds to play until halftime. And it's 4th and 14 at the 29, and the Knights have a player shaken up. That's Brandon Valise. Scott Valise, the head coach. Justin Valise playing quarterback tonight. A converted lineman with the injury to Aaron Sanchez. And the Knights will take a timeout with 4 seconds to play in the half. It's 28-0 Centennial. Jared Rico is a left-footed kicker for the Knights, and he's very good. He's got a good leg, so they may give him a crack at a long field goal here. It'd be about a 46-yard attempt from the right hash. And keep in mind the uprights are a little skinnier here than they are at the Field of Dreams, since this is a Division I college stadium and they don't fiddle with the goalposts for these. So they'll have to put it through the college uprights to get the 3 points on the board for the Knights. And of course the Hawks will want to be aware of any potential fakes off of this, but right now Jaden Diaz will take the tee out there and Rico will size up a 46-yard field goal attempt from the right hash. He's a left-footed kicker. And the Hawks will take a timeout as the Knights line up for the field goal with 4 seconds to play in the half. Centennial 28, Onate nothing. Tomorrow night it's the Bulldogs and the Trojans here at Aggie Memorial Stadium. Las Cruces having another good year. They're 8-1. Trojans have struggled this year. They're 2-7. They played Hobbs last week, and that game was 35-28 Hobbs at the half, and Hobbs pulled away and won the ball game. I think it was 59-42. But don't hold me to that. But you kind of throw the record books out in that one. I've done 30 of those or so, and you just don't know. It's hard to explain. Here we go. 46-yard field goal attempt for Rico. Snap is high. So now they're going to have to do what they can with it, and Diaz is tracked down and tackled by Ryan Ortiz, and so the Knights could not get the field goal attempt away, which is a shame. I'd like to see if Rico could have nailed that or not. Anyway, it's 28-0 Centennial at the half right here on LCPS TV. We'll pause for some halftime activities that you can view here on the webcast, and I'll be back with you when the second half begins. But it's all Hawks in the first half.
The RKR film production is titled Wild Things, including Daybreak featuring Sarah Diaz and Mark Cole on saxophone, Safari, Sunset, and Wild Things. Resendez and Yvette Morley. Is your band ready? You may take the field for halftime entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please direct your attention to the north end zone for a special halftime presentation. This summer, Las Cruces, Mayfield, Onate, and Centennial football booster clubs joined in as one to bring a new golf tournament to the city. With one goal in mind, their collaborative efforts formed a 2-day fundraising event to support their football program. This year they hosted the first City of the Crosses 12-man golf tournament, with headline sponsor Las Cruces Orthopedic and Associates. The positive response of the business community was overwhelming, and the individuals you see on the field tonight made the tournament possible. The tournament raised $101,000 that was divided equally between the 4 high school football programs. The 12th man would like to recognize and thank Kevin McGrath and the Burger Time Golf Tournament, whose vision and tremendous amount of work over 2 decades established the foundation for an event of this magnitude. Ladies and gentlemen, Superintendent Dr. Greg Ewing, Director of Athletics Ernest Montes, and Football Booster Presidents Veronica Vasquez, Jeremy Gonzalez, Stacy Alley, and Alicia Swinson would like the City of Las Cruces to welcome and thank the following businesses for making this golf tournament a success. Our headline sponsor, Las Cruces Orthopedic and Associates, Dr. McGuire, Dr. Romanelli, Dr. Barreras, and Dr. Sides. Aaron's Rental, ABC Printing, Allen Theaters, Ashley Furniture, Bank 34, Beasley Mitchell & Company, Bravo Mike Communications, BSN Sports, Buffalo Wild Wings, Builder Source, Chachi's, Chick-fil-A, Cholitos, Citizens Bank of Las Cruces, Coca-Cola Southwest Beverages, Corner Deli, Del Valle Physical Therapy, Digital Solutions, Exit Realty, F&A Dairy, Fincham Mobile Storage, 4 Evergreen Turf, Fraternal Order of Police, Kelly Liquors, Coles Cares, La Posta, Las Cruces Bulletin, Lessons of Life, Lithia Dodge, Memorial Medical Center, Metalcraft, Miguel's, Morrison Supply, Nissan Kia of Las Cruces, Ortiz Appraisal Group, LLC, Pecos Valley Pharmaceuticals, Premier Distributing, Premier, Price's Dairy, R&M Government Services, Solipec 6U Farms, Shamrock Foods, Smith & Aguirre, Sonic, Sonoma Ranch Golf Course, Spence Asset Management, Sport Clips, Steinborn & Associates, Sun City Plumbing and Heating, Sun Powered by Positive Energy Solar, Sun Valley, Taylor Precision Products, The Game, the Cisbaro Dealership, Tom Solopek Farm, U.S. Bank, Western Blend Incorporated. Big round of applause for the 12th man golf tournament sponsors. Associates for their continued support of our athletic program. Dr. David Valera, Michael McGuire, Dan Romanelli, Paul Sides, and Nick Scartella are the primary providers of orthopedic health care, and event coverage for the two masters of Centennial, Onate, and Aggie. Thank you for putting our two masters first.
Second half action set to begin. Onate kicking to Centennial. The Hawks lead at 28-0 at intermission, and that'll be a touchback.
And here's the goes into the end zone for a touchdown. Centennial will take over first and 10 at their own 20 yard line.
Halftime stats: 203 yards for Centennial, 105 yards for the Knights. Centennial had 72 yards passing, 131 yards on the ground. Onate had 24 yards through the air and 81 yards on the ground. Aiden Trujillo, the Hawk quarterback, 5 for 5 for 72 yards and a touchdown tonight. Leading rusher is Gomez with 9 carries and 68 yards. Leon, 7 carries, 43 yards and a touchdown for the Hawks, and this is the first play of the third quarter after the touchback. And it's Gomez on a sweep to the right side. He's got 5, he's got 10. So that'll move the chains. 10 seconds into the third quarter, and the Hawks up 28-0. The models I've seen for those predicting playoffs brackets, which I don't really play that game in terms of coming out with my own predictions, so I'll go with everybody else, but it looks like the Hawks in that 11 or 12 seed area, which would put them at either Rio Rancho or Hobbs, depending on how the seedings finally work their way out. Gain of 3 on the ground on 1st and 10.
Josiah Leon on the carry. Gain of 3 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 7 for the Hawks.
Top 4 seeds look to be pretty much a lock, depending on results tomorrow, of course, but Manzano 1. They look to get the 1 seed. Most people have Cruces as the 4 seed. Penalty marker from the back judge. Usually that's delay a game, and that's what it is against the Hawks. The 1 through 4 seeds get a bye next week. And then 5 through 12 play. 5 plays 12, 6 plays 11. And you play at the side of the higher seed. And then those that got the bye then pick up opponents out of those first round games. Hawks race to the line of scrimmage after huddling, which they never do. Trujillo going up top. And the pass incomplete over the middle, intended for the tight end, Jordan Mendoza, 209-pound sophomore. That's the first incompletion for Aiden Trujillo. I smelled a rat when they huddled, because they never huddle. But they're not really a hurry-up team, even though they don't huddle. They take their time getting to the line of scrimmage. It's not a hurry-up spread type of no-huddle. Trujillo, tough pass against his body. He had a couple of receivers that were open, but had trouble throwing it across his body accurately. So it's 4th down. The Knights are going to get off the field here after 2 incompletions from Trujillo. One over the middle on a well-covered tight end, and had trouble getting himself set to throw that particular pass with a couple of receivers that had some room if he could have fired it accurately into him. And so Rick Trupp into punt. Straight up the chimney. This won't fly past the first down stick. Well, it will with the hop. It's going to eke into Knight territory and die at the 49. So a 3 and out, well, I guess that would be a 4 and out for the Knights because they got a first down on their very first play of the series. And then the next 3 plays ended up seeing them punt on 4th down. So they ran 4 plays and a punt. 1st and 10 for the Knights at their own 49-yard line. Diaz will open up at quarterback here in the second half. Fakes a handoff on the sweep, gives it to Salas. He has nowhere to go. Had defenders in his face when he took the handoff. Richtrup and Blowers both in there. And they lost 4 yards. So at 2nd and 14, Diaz has trouble with the snap. Rolls left, fires, complete. Get back to the original line of scrimmage. That's good for a gain of 4. 3rd and 10 at the 49. Diaz was the backup quarterback to Sanchez last year in the option attack of Kelly McKee. So they've gone from one system to another, the option to the spread. That's about as drastic of a change as you can have. And Aaron Sanchez was handling it well, but he's not available tonight due to an injury he suffered last week against Las Cruces. 3rd and 10 for the Knights at their own 49-yard line. Richtrup gets in there right away. Diaz throws it up, hoping something good will happen, and it doesn't. It lands in no man's land, and it's 4th down. I think they'll go for it on 4th and 10 at their own 49. We'll see. 8:44 to play in the 3rd quarter. The Knights are down 28-0. Knights in black, Centennial in white. So it's 4th and 10 for the Knights. They're going to go for it from their own 49-yard line. First down yardage at the Hawk 41. Empty backfield. Wanted to set up a screen, but the Hawks run it. Monroe Young takes it, heads left, and he's not going to get the first down. Goes out of bounds at the 44, 3 yards shy, gain of 7. Good job by the defense to read that. A couple of the guys in the middle of the Centennial defense recognized the screen action, and they stayed home instead of going and racing in and taking the bait to chase Jaden Diaz down. So it's 1st and 10 for the Hawks at their own 44-yard line. Aiden Trujillo out of the gun. 3 down linemen for the Knights, 5 along the line of scrimmage. And they hand off. That's Leon. He's across midfield. Rico slings him down. They'll give him forward progress, though, to the Centennial 48. That's a gain of 8 for Leon. .12 to play in the 3rd quarter. Trujillo hands off to Leon. Little spin, dropped at the 40. That's a first down. And he's averaging 6.3 yards a carry through 2 quarters and some change. And it's 1st and 10 for the Hawks at the Knight 39-yard line. Into the secondary, to the sideline. And he steps out of bounds inside the 10 at the 9. Gain of 30. 108 yards on the ground for Gomez, and it's first and goal for the Hawks at the Onate 9 with 7:17 to play in the third quarter. Play action from Trujillo. Grabbed, trying to fight his way free. Nice job. He's sacked. Ivan Pettis brings him down.
Trujillo is sacked on the play by number 57, Ivan Pettis. Loss of 7 on the play. Brings up second and goal for the Hawks.
First sack of the night for the Knights, so it's second and goal at the 16 after a loss of about 7. Knights show blitz up the middle. Trujillo's throwing over the middle. Rodriguez has it. Touchdown, Hawks. Second TD of the night for Trujillo. Last one was 32 yards. This one 16 yards. Rodriguez's third catch of the night. And it's 34-0 Centennial, 6:32 to play in the third quarter. And that'll get the running clock going if the PAT sails through, and it's blocked. So no running clock as the Knights block the point after touchdown. Cameron Solis came through there and blocked the PAT. So it's 34-0 Hawks, 6:32 to play in the third quarter. And we'll have the Hawk kickoff for you when they're ready. Kick is short, caught at the 19. That's Rico.
Jared Rico takes it up to the 29-yard line. Knights will take over first and 10 at the 29.
Knights to the ground, big hole to midfield. All the way down to the Centennial 20-yard line. Cameron Solis. 50 yards.
First down, Knights.
112 yards rushing. For Solis, he had one big run in the first half called back. 34-0 Centennial, halfway through the third. Diaz hands to Solis again. Flowers brings him down after a 2-yard gain.
Cameron Saul on the carry. Gain of 1 on the play. Brings up 2nd and 9 for the Knights.
Second and 9. Here's Salas again. Had a wide hole to run through, but it closed up pretty quick. Gain of 4 or so.
Cameron Salas on the carry. Gain of 3 on the play.
Brings up 3rd down for the Knights at about the 16. They need the 10 for a first down. The air. Nice job adjusting with the route. Got his hands on it, but can't hold on down at the 5. Monroe Young, the intended receiver. That looked like the defender had the best shot at it. But Monroe Young so athletic that he actually got to the football, cutting off the defender, but then he couldn't hang on. Fourth down, first down yardage at the 10, 4th and 6.5. Blitz is on. They beat it. Rico. Touchdown. 16-yard TD pass. Now, one official said touchdown. I guess the other one marked him down at the 1. So now they're talking about it. And they rule it a touchdown. I was watching the referee that called it a touchdown. He was up at the top of the screen. The official down at the bottom, I guess, ruled him down just outside the goal line. They got together, talked about it, and decided that Rico got into the end zone for the TD. No quarrel from up here. 4:33 to play in the 3rd quarter, and Centennial's lead is 34-6. So they hit the slant to Rico, and he fights his way into the end zone. Now he'll try to tack on the PAT. It's good. 34-7 Centennial. 4:33 to play in the 3rd quarter on LCPS TV. So that last drive by the Knights started at the 28-yard line. Got the 50-yard run by Salas. On 4th down, they get the 16-yard TD pass from Diaz to Rico. Diaz, I thought, would start the game, but Coach Valise went with his son, converted from the line to quarterback. But at halftime, they went to Diaz after being shut out and down 28-0, and he leads them on a drive for a TD. Here's a short kick. Not much of a return as a flag now flies in. 4:26 to play in the third. It's Centennial 34 and Onate 7 here at Aggie Memorial. Penalty assessed against the Knights. Puts the Hawks up at their own 44-yard line. 4 penalties for 45 yards against Onate. So Eden Trujillo back at the controls, the sophomore. Hands off. And the Knights there defensively to stuff it. Touchdown gives the Knights a little bit of momentum. Popped up on that play as Mauricio Vasquez, 257-pound senior, stuffs the running back. Loss of a yard. 4 minutes to play in the third, and Centennial leads at 34-7. 3 receivers to the top of your screen, 1 to the bottom. And Gomez leaves the backfield in motion. Throw it backwards to him. He's going to throw it again, and there's a man wide open downfield. It hung in the air a while. It was underthrown, but it's caught. But it allowed the defense to catch up a little bit. So instead of a TD, they'll have to settle for a big gain to Rodriguez.
First down, Hawks.
30 yards. So that was Gomez hitting Rodriguez for 30. And it's 1st and 10 at the Onate 27-yard line with 3:25 to play in the third quarter. Here's Gomez, gaping hole into the secondary. Marker flies as he goes into the end zone. The back judge threw a flag. Holding is what he's signaling. And it's a hold against Centennial.
Holding against the Hawks.
But the flag's at the 2. Wipes off a 27-yard TD run. But they're going to get it about the 12, so it still works out for a gain of about 15 yards. So I think the last block that got him into the end zone sounds like they ruled that a hold. So it's 1st and 10. The ball is at the Onate 12-yard line. Twins to the left. Look for the direct snap here, and here's Gomez coming left. Trujillo throws a block for him. Gomez goes outside that block and gets run out of bounds inside the 10 at the 8. 126 yards on 14 carries and a TD for Gomez tonight. He's the leading ball carrier in the game now. Salas for Onate has 118 yards on 16 carries. They marked it closer to the 7. 2:43 to play in the third quarter. 34-7 Centennial. Vasquez wide to the left. He has a TD grab tonight. Rodriguez goes wide to the right for the Centennial Hawks. 2 tight ends. Quarterback keeper. He picks up about 4 and looks to be a yard shy of the first down. So the line of scrimmage is the 3. First down yardage at the 2 for Centennial. Gomez lines up in a direct snap spot, takes the snap, heads left, and he fights in. Touchdown, his second of the night. And that makes it 40-7. .204 to play in the third quarter. Hawks had their last point after touchdown blocked. Snap is high. Now they'll go for two, throw it into the back of the end zone. He was open, but he overthrows it. So they got the bad snap. Usually when that happens, the holder or the kicker start yelling, fire, 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 or something to let everybody know that disaster struck on the snap, and now we need to scramble into what's a well-practiced drill of trying to make the best out of the situation and try to get 2 points out of it. Well, it was there, but the pass a little high and incomplete, so the 2-point play fails. 40-7 Centennial, 2:04 to play in the third quarter. That's a live ball, and the Knights fall on it at the 25. So it's 40-7 Centennial, 2 minutes to play in the third quarter still. Jaden Diaz let them down on their first scoring drive of the night the last time they had the ball, right about this spot. Started the drive with a big run to Salas. And then Diaz hit Rico on the TD pass to put the points on the board. Full moon tonight here at Aggie Memorial. Not a cloud in the sky, no breeze. Really comfortable temperature. I'm actually hot, but I'm up in the press box. I mean, I could actually use the air conditioner being on. So it's a warm night. It may not be quite that warm out there. It's not uncomfortable, at least where I sit, and it doesn't look like the fans are suffering at all. I see a few out there in shirt sleeves.
And we have a winner on the Onate sideline. Thank you.
2 minutes to play in the third quarter. 5 wide receivers for the Knights. They bring the tightest slot in motion, fake a handoff to him, want to pass, but the pass rush will get in on him and drop him for a loss. Kalani Payton, 5'11", 221-pound defensive lineman, a senior, got in there and brought him down at the 20. That's a loss of 6. So it's 2nd and 16 for the Knights at their own 20-yard line. Handoff, nothing there. Upended at the line of scrimmage, 3rd down. So it's 40-7 Centennial with a minute to play in the third quarter, and it's 3rd and 16 for the Knights. Knights are blitzing. One gets in there, and that'll foul up the play. Came from the blind side. Hernandez came on a corner blitz from the blind side, and Diaz didn't have a chance. So it's 4th and 16. The Knights went backwards 6 yards on that series. Gomez, the safety, stands at the 50 waiting for the punt. Hits at the 49, bounds into Centennial territory, now takes a bit of a night roll. Hawks take over at their own 44-yard line. Aiden Trujillo was 5 for 5 for 72 yards and a TD in the first half. He's 1 for 3 in the second half. But he hit Rodriguez on a 16-yard TD pass for that completion. He's thrown for 88 yards now, 6 of 8. 2 TDs for Trujillo in his first start as QB1 for Centennial. Just a sophomore, started at receiver for him, made some good catches this year. He's a good player. I think he was the JV quarterback. And they put him in against Cruces last week as a 3rd string quarterback after a couple of injuries. He knew what to do when he was dealing with the football. Knew where the handoffs were, knew the action. Here's a handoff to Gomez. He bursts into the secondary, brought down at the 38. 18 yards on the quick hitter to Gomez. 147 yards and 2 TDs for Gomez tonight. First and 10 from the 938. Little head and shoulder fake from Trujillo. He wanted to go deep. The Knights defended it well. And now he'll just get what he can with his legs, and he steps out after a couple yards. 4 seconds to play in the third. They were trying to sneak somebody deep on the Knights secondary, but they were well aware, and they covered that well. Second and 9 at the Onate 37-yard line. Rodriguez, who has a TD grab wide to the right. Vasquez, who has a TD grab slot to the left, and it's Gomez instead, straight up the gut, and he gashes him for a first down. At the 23-yard line of Onate, that's a gain of 14 for Gomez. So after 3 quarters, Gomez has 161 yards rushing for the Hawks, and Centennial leads Onate 40-7 at the end of 3 on LCPS TV. This will be the first play of the fourth quarter. Trujillo will keep, and he's knocked down as he gets to about the 16. It's a gain of 7. 40-7 Centennial, 11:39 to play in the game. Second and 3, Trujillo gives it to Gomez, and the Knights all over it defensively. Terrific play in there by the Onate defender, Ivan Pettit, 6'1", 250-pound senior, while being blocked. Gets Gomez by the ankles and drops him at the 19. It's a loss of 3. Third and 6 for the Hawks at the Onate 19-yard line. Rodriguez couldn't hold on. Coverage by Jaden Diaz, and Diaz not getting up. Looks like he might have a cramp. Now Diaz is their quarterback on offense. Ryan Blazer, the athletic trainer at Onate, out to help stretch Jaden Diaz out, who's been out there for a lot of snaps. John Plank over there as well. John and Ryan were both athletic trainers for New Mexico State baseball back when I was doing Aggie baseball on the radio and TV back in the Rocky Ward era, and now they are both assisting Onate with athletic training duties. They're lucky to have them. Good guys. So it's 4th down. The Hawks are going to go for it. First down yardage is the 13. 4th and 6. Trujillo pulls it out of the belly of Gomez. They squashed him. Trujillo's going to run for it, and he's run out of bounds. Where did he step out? He's got the first down. He's out at the 11. It's a gain of 8. Well, if they would have handed it off, it would have been a stop for the Knights. They were all over the Gomez handoff, but Trujillo pulled it out of his belly, kept to the right, and they get the first down out of it. So it's 1st and 10 at the 11 for the Hawks. 10:29 to play in the game. Centennial by 33. Gomez gets it this time in between the tackles down to the 8. Two TDs and 161 yards for Gomez on 19 carries. His next carry, number 20 on the evening. So they are giving him a steady diet. 19 carries for him, 10 for Leon, 8 for Trujillo so far tonight. They've only thrown it 8 times, but they have 2 TDs through the air. Foot race to the left for Trujillo. Cuts it back. And he backs his way into the end zone. Touchdown. His second running. He's also got 2 passing, so a 4 TD night for Aiden Trujillo. The score comes with 9:43 to play in the 4th quarter. 8-yard TD run. 9 carries, 40 yards for Trujillo. Not bad for a 3rd-string quarterback, huh? I thought he looked good against Cruces. I mean, the game was out of hand when he came in. Lance Frost had gone down. Noah Bartlett had gone down. So we were wondering who would go in and run the offense for the Hawks, but he went in there, didn't miss a beat, looked like he knew what he was doing, and actually drove the Hawks down the field. Granted, the Bulldogs are up comfortably, and so it wasn't as tough maybe as it was in the early going, but I thought Trujillo looked good at quarterback, and he's looked good tonight. He's 6 for 8 passing for 88 yards and 2 TDs, 9 for 40 on the ground for 2 more TDs, and it's 47-7. The Hawks are rolling. 9:43 left to play in the game on LCPS TV. Taken at the 32. 3-yard return sets him up at the 35. So the Knight offense back out there. We'll see if Diaz recovered from his cramp to guide the team here or not, or they go back to Valise, or what they're going to do. Diaz is back out there, so he's shaking off the cramp. Knights were a playoff team a year ago, running the option on offense. Brent Jake was the head coach and longtime defensive coordinator for the Bulldogs. Handoff, Salas scampers to the 39, gain of 4. He's having a big night. 122 yards on 18 carries for Onate. Brent retired. Kelly retired. Kelly's son Forrest is a starting fullback for the UTEP Miners, so he's following Forrest around. Brent took a job down in El Paso as a line coach for the Franklin Cougars on the west side of El Paso. 2nd and 6 at the 39-yard line, going up top, and the pass down low and incomplete near midfield. So Scott Valise applied, got the job. He didn't get here till late. He was off in the Midland, Odessa area, I think. So he took the job, came in, installed the spread. Aaron Sanchez was a returning quarterback. Of course, they ran the ball heavy and ran option in Kelly McKee's offense and have switched to a passing attack. Sanchez had a pretty good year throwing the ball, but he went down last week against Cruces. Incomplete, 4th down and 6 to go. Running clock, 7:57 to play in the game. Knights had a tough schedule with both Cleveland and Rio Rancho on their schedule. And then, of course, putting in this new offense. It's rough going early. Then they got a victory against Gadsden, then a victory against Mayfield, won a couple in a row, beat Mayfield 28-21. 2nd year in a row the Knights have beat the Trojans. The following week, lost to Carlsbad on a touchdown with 7 seconds to play in the game by the Cavemen. Pass broken up, incomplete on 4th down. Trying to get Young. Hernandez broke it up. And Centennial will take over at the Onate 39-yard line. 7:10 to play in the game. So it's 1st and 10 for the Hawks as the Knights turn it over on downs. New running back in there, Acosta. He squirts through a hole. He's proven hard to bring down. Fights his way all the way down to the 30. It's a gain of 9. Gabriel Acosta, 5'6", 140-pound sophomore running back for the Hawks. 6:16 to play. Kinderman wide to the left. Antonio Chavez wide to the right. And it'll be Acosta going left. Bounces it outside. And they run him out at the 15. Gain of 15 on his 2nd carry of the ball game. Hawks trying to get into the playoffs. This win will help. They're going to finish 3rd in district. This will move them to 5-5 on the year. Acosta grabbed in the backfield. Still fighting. He can't get away from one of the big guys up front. Down on the ground for the Knights, grabbing a handful of jersey was Xavier Ortega, and he wouldn't let go. .453 to play. 47-7 Centennial. Second and 11. Take a handoff to Chavez going into the end zone, and the pass intercepted by Monroe Young. Trying to hit Kinderman, and Young picks it off. First interception of the night for Trujillo. Second turnover for the Hawks. Left a punt really early in the game. So the Knights will get it with 4:14 to play. Diaz pulls it out of the belly of Salas. Fights his way to the 24-yard line. Gain of 4 for Diaz. That's his first carry. .326 remains to be played. Centennial up 47-7. It was 28-0 Hawks at the half. Here's Monroe Young. Flying up the sideline, and he's yanked out of bounds up at around the 41, 42-yard line. It's a gain of 18. So 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line for Onate. Little scissors action, and Centennial all over that. They had the ball carrier before he had the ball. Salas had no chance there. Loss of 4. .214 to play in the game. It's 47-7. The Hawks lead it. Knights with the football. Diaz drops to pass, setting up a screen to Young. He has it. 40, 45, coming left. Up the sideline. He can fly. Can he outrun him? He stepped out. Kind of clutching at his leg a little. And a marker flies well after the play. There's also a marker down back at the 47. Looks like this one's coming back. Two markers, one way downfield and one at the Onate 47-yard line as they got it to Young, but always fun to watch Young with the ball in the open field as he can fly. And he did some damage with his legs there. I thought when he went out of bounds, he kind of reached for his leg, but he just might be tired. I didn't have the binoculars on it. I'm a lot further away here than I am at the Field of Dreams. Well, the Knight fans that are here booing up a storm. They didn't like the holding call. Oh no, personal foul. So they call the Knights for a personal foul. Moves them all the way back to the 21. So it wasn't a hold, it was a personal foul. So an exciting play goes for Knott. .134 to play this one out. Hawks lead at 47-7. Same stadium tomorrow night. It's Las Cruces and Mayfield. Hit Young again. He's in the open field again. There he goes. They caught him at the 28. 51 yards. 54 seconds to play. Diaz, it's his man underneath. Salas slung down at the 24, gain of 4. And the Knights will use a timeout as the Mercy roll clock's been rolling. They're down to 25 seconds to play in the game. And they've got 2 of them left, so you imagine they'll empty that as they're threatening here down at the Centennial 24-yard line. So tomorrow it's the Bulldogs and the Trojans. I've seen so many of these. I think the last blowout in the series was when Mayfield blew out Las Cruces, and going into the game, the conventional wisdom was the Bulldogs were a favorite. So you just never know in this thing. I've seen more upsets in the Cruces-Mayfield game, but a lot of those were years that they were both top 5 or top 6 teams. My very first Las Cruces-Mayfield game was back in 1985. And the games in 85, 86, 87, 88, 89 were all epic. So I got a good taste of it early, and it's always a fun night. Kind of an unofficial Las Cruces holiday. This pass is picked off back at the 1-yard line. Interception made by Centennial's Raul Salas, 5'8", 140-pound sophomore defensive back. And that'll end the game. Final score, Centennial 47, Onate 7. So the Hawks are 5-5. They figure to be in the playoff field next week. That'll be announced Saturday, I think, Saturday night. And we'll see whether the Hawks get in or not. And if they do get in, where they get sent, as they figure to be one of the lower seeded teams and probably on the road. Either probably at Rio Rancho or maybe going back to Hobbs. Hobbs beat them, I think it was 54-14, something like that. So anyway, we want to thank you for watching tonight. Centennial 47, Onate 7. This is LCPS TV. I'm Jeff Matthews. Have a good night, everyone.
Pushed past the limits and boundaries of the people who came before you, and now you're standing here with not only academic and social knowledge, but with real-world experience. New Mexico State University. No limits, no boundaries.